Welcome back to Shadowy Delights. We hope you've been enjoying our stories. Let us know in the comments what types of horror stories you would like us to tell on the channel. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Shadowy Delights. Thanks for your support. I moved into my dream apartment last year. Everything seemed perfect, the neighbors were friendly, and the area was peaceful. Then, I noticed the man across the hall, Mr. Miller. He was in his mid-50s, always dressed neatly, and seemed polite enough. But I began to feel uneasy around him. At first, it was just little things. He always seemed to be in the hallway when I left for work and when I came home. His eyes followed me, and his comments about my appearance and daily routine became increasingly personal. One night, I found a bouquet of roses on my doorstep with a note that simply said, "For you." I had no idea who sent them, but a sinking feeling told me it was him. The next day, I confronted him, asking if he had left the flowers. He denied it with a creepy smile that made my skin crawl. I started to feel watched in my own home. The final straw came when I discovered my underwear drawer had been tampered with. I knew I had to do something. I decided to take a different approach. I reached out to a community organization that provided self-defense classes and safety advice for women. I also spoke to my landlord about my concerns. To my surprise, several other women in the building had similar complaints about Mr. Miller. The landlord agreed to install additional locks on my door and provided me with a personal alarm. I started attending the self-defense classes, which gave me confidence and a sense of empowerment. The other women and I formed a support group, sharing tips and looking out for each other. One night, I came home to find Mr. Miller waiting outside my door. This time, I was ready. I calmly but firmly told him to leave and activated my personal alarm. The piercing sound drew the attention of other neighbors and the building security, who escorted him away. I filed a formal complaint with the police, and Mr. Miller was eventually evicted for harassment. The experience taught me the importance of community and self-reliance. I still live in the same apartment, but now I feel safer, knowing I'm not alone. When I bought my condo, I was excited to have a place of my own. The first few months were great until my new neighbor, Kevin, moved in. Kevin loved to throw parties. Not just any parties, but loud, all-night ragers that kept the entire building awake. I tried talking to him politely, asking if he could keep the noise down. He laughed it off and promised to quiet down, but nothing changed. I called the police several times, but the parties would resume the next weekend. My work started to suffer from the lack of sleep, and my stress levels were through the roof. I realized I needed a different strategy. I decided to hit him where it hurt. His wallet. I gathered evidence of the noise violations by recording the loud music and disturbances. I also talked to other neighbors, and together, we compiled a list of complaints and video evidence. Armed with this, I took our case to the condo board. The board had the authority to fine residents for violating community rules. After reviewing our evidence, they agreed to impose hefty fines on Kevin for each noise complaint. The fines started adding up, and Kevin quickly realized his parties were costing him a small fortune. He tried to argue and appeal, but the evidence was clear. After a particularly large fine, he finally got the message. The parties stopped, and Kevin even apologized to the neighbors. Peace returned to the building, and I felt a sense of accomplishment knowing that we had solved the problem together. It wasn't easy, but standing up for ourselves and using the system to our advantage made all the difference. I bought my first house in what seemed like a perfect neighborhood. It was quiet, friendly, and everyone looked out for each other. Then, I met my neighbor, Mrs. Thompson. She was an elderly lady who lived alone and seemed sweet at first. But soon, strange things began happening. My mail would go missing, and packages were often tampered with. I started finding notes on my door, criticizing my gardening choices and the way I kept my yard. At first, I didn't suspect her, but then I noticed her watching me from her window every time I stepped outside. One day, I confronted her about the notes. She denied everything, her eyes narrowing with a hint of malice. I felt a chill run down my spine. Things escalated when I found my car keyed and the tires slashed. I knew I had to do something drastic. Instead of going to the police immediately, I decided to gather undeniable proof. I bought a small, hidden voice recorder and planted it in my mailbox. A few days later, I caught Mrs. Thompson on tape, taking my mail and ranting about how I didn't deserve to live there. With this evidence, I went to the police. They took my complaint seriously, and when confronted, Mrs. Thompson couldn't deny the recording. She was charged with vandalism and harassment, and a restraining order was put in place. The police advised me to get involved with the Neighborhood Watch program. I did, and it was one of the best decisions I made. Not only did it make me feel safer, but it also strengthened the community. We looked out for each other and made sure no one else had to go through what I did. Mrs. Thompson eventually moved away, and peace was restored. I learned that sometimes, the best way to deal with a problem is to face it head-on and use the resources available to you. My home is now a sanctuary again, and I have my neighbors and the community to thank for that.
Your support means everything to us. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen for more shadowy delights.